This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thanks for getting up with us on this Saturday morning. I'm Tim Gordon. This morning on Sunrise, a family in flux. Hear from a couple struggling to adopt two Ukrainian boys. Now they're separated by war. Plus, Washington's governor signed sweeping new legislation, how it's designed to help the environment and create jobs. But first, we get to Chris McGinnis with a look at that forecast. Chris?
Good morning, Tim. I'm not sure about you, but on my way in, a little rain on the windshield early this morning. As fast as those showers popped up, they are already on their way out. We've got a couple sprinkles now falling through East County and down into portions of Clackamas County, Eagle Creek, Barton, Carver. You are experiencing some light rain showers right now. We'll head up to Clark County, east side of Clark County, north and east. Those showers continue lifting up and into the Cascades, and I think that's going to be about it for our rain chances, at least in the Willamette Valley during the day today. We do have a couple sprinkles falling along the Oregon coast as well. You folks are more likely to see at least the continuation of a few light rain drops this morning. 51 last check at PDX with, again, a light rain shower out there right now. The plan for today, Saturday, clouds abundant. They will not be going anywhere. We may see a few sun breaks this afternoon, and temperatures get into the mid-60s yet again.
Feeling pretty spring-like. Thanks, Chris. Well, new this morning, a suspect is dead after a police chase ended on I-5, blocking part of the interstate late last night. State troopers say they were chasing a suspect wanted for attempted murder and multiple assaults. They used a pit maneuver in the southbound lanes to stop the car right near the A Casino exit. Washington State Police tell us the suspect ran away on foot and jumped into the northbound lanes where he was hit by a car. That suspect died from those injuries. The driver was not injured. Well, let's get to the three things to know about the war in Ukraine this morning. First, U.S. defense officials say the city of Kherson in southern Ukraine is no longer under Russian control and is now considered contested territory. If Ukrainian forces manage to push Russian soldiers out and retake the city, it would represent a major battlefield setback for Russia. Kherson was the first large city Russia captured during its invasion. Well, number two, Ukrainian authorities now claim 300 people were killed when Russia bombed a theater in Mariupol last week. Families had been sheltering there, trying to escape the violence. The pavement outside was even marked with the word children in large lettering that was visible from the air. If that death toll is independently confirmed, it would be the deadliest attack on civilians in the war. And number three, President Biden is in Poland meeting with Ukrainian officials and refugees, and U.S. troops deployed there as well. The president is now promising more help for Ukraine. He's also preparing a major address from Poland later this morning that the White House says will, quote, speak to the stakes of the moment. Well, a local doctor from Providence, Portland, is telling his story after spending 11 days in Poland helping Ukrainian refugees. Joseph Houghton is an ER doctor from the hospital. He was inspired to travel to Eastern Europe after watching the devastation unfold. About a month ago, he packed suitcases full of medical supplies and headed to Warsaw, where he often worked 14-hour days. Among the many tasks Houghton helped with was giving expectant mothers ultrasounds. He took his own machine to try and give them some peace of mind.
There were several women I encountered there in their second and third trimesters, and they were very concerned about the health of their baby, having been through this major traumatic experience. So just being able to lay an ultrasound on their abdomen and show the baby was healthy and moving brought big smiles all around. And it was really a gratifying experience.
Now, Houghton is still helping people back in Poland, even though he's home now. He hopes to encourage other medical professionals to consider helping war refugees however they can. Well, a Vancouver family is facing incredible frustration and heartache. Their plans to adopt two Ukrainian children are now on hold because of the war in Ukraine. For months, Julie Yemenchuk and her husband have dreamed of adopting brothers, 10-year-old Bogdan and his 6-year-old brother Max. The family had hosted Bogdan at their Vancouver home twice over the last year. They were close to finalizing the adoptions when the war broke out, halting everything. Both boys are now safe in orphanages outside of Ukraine. Julie talks with Bogdan on the phone and encourages him to stay strong.
He's really hopeful. He's asking, when are you going to come see me? When are you going to come get me? And, you know, he told me that just yesterday he broke down crying, and I asked him, why did you cry? He says, well, because I miss you guys.
Yeah, we talked with an adoption agency that Julie's family is working with. They say there's no set answer for when adoptions can start up again. However, they say it would need to be safe again to move about the streets of Kyiv. Well, to keep up on the latest on the invasion and to find out ways that you can help those fleeing Ukraine, text the word Ukraine to 503-226-5088. And we'll text you back a link to a special section on our website. You can also go straight to kgw.com/Ukraine. Well, here at home, the Camas Police Department is ready to go with body cameras. It'll be the first agency in Clark County to officially get them on officers. City leaders have put more than $300,000 toward the program. Out on display for us inside the Camas Police Department. The first thing I asked longtime Camas Police Chief Mitch Lackey is how it feels to lead the way with body-worn cameras.
Feels good. I'm proud of the community, proud of our city council and mayor for finding a funding source, and I think the agency is excited that we can, make this happen.
These cameras made by Axon work in conjunction with tasers that it makes as well. Switch on the taser and the camera will automatically start rolling. Unholstering a firearm does the same thing. Lackey sees the added transparency as good for officers and the people they serve, who the chief says are supportive.
And if anything, it will just help them to feel that we're accountable back to the community by having these cameras. If there ever are questions about what transpired in an incident, it allows the community to see for themselves.
Just a few hours of final policy training starting next week, and the cameras will be used by officers rolling out on calls. Chief Lackey hopes the cameras will capture all the good he says his officers do in the community.
I think it's going to capture the 99.9% of the good police work that gets done out there every single day. And even those things that might not go perfect, I think it will help tell the story in context of what did happen and allow people to see for themselves.
Seeing for ourselves, a key theme here. It will also allow officers to learn from what they and their colleagues record. We asked the chief to test his gear today.
Are you able to turn it on and record us in our conversation?
Absolutely. It's just as simple as 2 touches. The camera's on and it's recording right now. So in its field of vision, it will capture you, probably the clock on the wall behind you.
These are all the videos. These are the 2 we just made.
A big part of the investment covers 5 years of the body camera company storing the thousands of video clips to come and managing redacting as needed for public records requests. So again, these cameras start to roll out next week in Camas. And in the meantime, Vancouver is still working on getting its program going, hopefully later this year. And the Clark County Sheriff's program is slowed down because voters, they turned down funding body cameras last November. Washington Governor Jay Inslee has signed sweeping new legislation designed to reduce greenhouse gases, add green jobs, and improve the state's transportation system. It includes $1 billion for Washington's share of replacing the interstate bridge over the Columbia River. There's funding for walking and bike corridors, free public transportation access, and highway maintenance too. The legislation also mandates electric instead of gas heating for large buildings. Inslee calls this climate change legislation personal for him.
I got 4 of the cutest grandchildren in the state of Washington by gubernatorial declaration. And I can tell you this bill, this package of bills, is more important to their future than perhaps anything else we're doing in the state of Washington, because it will give them a chance to experience this beautiful state the way I have experienced it.
Well, the legislative package includes 6 bills and totals almost $17 billion. You can read an in-depth story on KGW.com. When the pandemic hit the world, a lot of us had to change how we do things. That meant online school for most kids. Turns out some like that option a lot. Well, coming up next, how school districts in Oregon and Washington are working to create an option for students who prefer virtual learning.